having so many injuries. Kahin, I was going to speak in Hindi. I'm so sorry, but I just hope that.
Hey,
Hello, how are you?
how are you? Lovely to speak to you.
It's really good to speak to you. I'm so happy that you are here with me today, so that we can talk about that beautiful night that we had yesterday. I
I've
just can't get enough of that.
I've got some breaking news for you. Actually, Ollie's getting fired.
Yeah, I just read about that. That Ole is getting fired, and I was devastated at first. That this is like something. As a fan, I wouldn't really want that to happen, but then that's what we do. Liverpool, we have done that before, and don't you think that was coming? Like after the kind of match that it was. So, who do you think that is going to take over? Is it like Zidane or is it going to be Conte?
I think Darren Fletcher immediately. But I think I actually don't know. I messaged Mark Goldbridge a few minutes ago just to confirm that Ollie was getting fired, and it seems he certainly is.
Oh God. What is the highlight of your night, that previous night that we had? So was it like Mo Salah like hat trick at Old Trafford, or was it that we got 0-5, we won by 0-5 at Old Trafford? So what is it that got you excited more?
It has to be the score because I grew up surrounded by Manchester United fans, surrounded by them. So for me, I've spent the last 12 hours just messaging everybody I can, just laughing, just winding everybody up and just laughing at them. Mark Goldbridge has got about 10 voice notes off me in the last 12 hours.
Oh my God. The thing is that I've faced the same thing. The area that I'm from, so I get all Manchester United fans everywhere. But it just feels nice someday to win one. And winning like that, it's so damn good. And it's just so damn good. So second thing that I have to ask you that, like the performance of Mo Salah, and we know that what he has been doing, people are seeing it now, but we have been seeing him producing such good results since the day that he wore that red shirt. So I want to ask you the wages that Mo Salah has, or is demanding, or is asking. Is that even a question for the club to consider, considering the performance that he has and the number of goals that he has been producing ever since?
Obviously, we have to do what we can afford to do. But if we can afford to pay Mohamed Salah, let's just say £350,000 a week, he absolutely deserves it. I think the real question is, could he get it elsewhere? And he could. He absolutely could. He could
Exactly.
walk into PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona, maybe not Barcelona at this particular moment in time, but he's certainly worth the money. I think the only question for the club will be around the destabilization of other players in the changing room. But I think, my opinion is, Van Dijk, Allison, Trent, Robbo, uh, numerous other players throughout the team have all extended. So they're all in a good place with their contracts. They're all happy. And they know, and we know, that there's a special player in Mohamed Salah there. And he deserves to be paid accordingly because think of how much attention that 5-0 yesterday, that hat trick, will have brought to the club. How many sponsors, how many brands, how many views, how many clicks, and that entire African market that has been opened up. Mohamed Salah is now the highest scoring African in Premier League history. That is phenomenal. And he's done it
107 goals. 10, yeah.
in so little time compared to the great Didier Drogba, who was fantastic. But we are
Exactly.
truly seeing a very special man. And I think the club will have no choice. But and look, I never like to hear the phrase, and I know I'm not aiming this at you, but I don't like to hear the phrase demanded because Mohamed Salah, you can't imagine him demanding anything. He's such a
Exactly,
beautiful human
exactly.
being. He's such a warm, lovely guy, and he's the right to be paid what he's worth, of course. But I think
Hmm.
there will be. I think both sides will come to an agreement. I can see it happening. He's too good not to.
Exactly, and it's not even that if there is no contract extension and he has not been performing. Like continuously giving such good performances, and it's just so good that a player like that is playing for us, is a Liverpool player. So it's just another proud moment that we can say that we have at our club, and we got to experience that 5-0 win at Old Trafford. And I'm just happy that I got to experience that in my lifetime. So
For me, it's I'll never tire of looking at the scoreboard for that game. Like 5-0. And you know what? We took our foot off the gas for the last 20 minutes. I think those boys just didn't want to pick up another injury or anything like that. So I think
hmm,
it could have been 6, 7, 8 and not flattered us.
exactly. And I want to ask you that what is your take on that Ronaldo kicking the ball when Curtis Jones was lying. Do you think that that was a red card? Or we just don't expect things like that from him. So, what was your take on that whole incident?
I think it was very petulant of Cristiano Ronaldo to do it. He's a winner through and through, and I can only imagine that he's after coming to the realization that the job at Old Trafford is much bigger. The players
Mm,
aren't to the caliber he expected, and I think it was petulant. I think it was an orange card, if I can say that. I think it was right on the brink. I think he was a little bit
mm,
fortunate, but I think the real disturbing challenge was the Paul Pogba one.
exactly.
There was intent there. You could see Cristiano, he kicked the ball, but he only kicked the ball. Now it would have hurt Curtis
Mhm.
Jones, of course, but I think the referee dealt with it well. But the Paul Pogba incident was cowardly and it was calculated and it was intent. I just that was the clear red, and I feel so bad for Naby because he was amazing, absolutely amazing,
Exactly.
and because of Paul Pogba's frustration, he's gonna miss time, and I hope it's not long.
We are having a lot of injury problems in our midfield. Like we have the previous season in our centre back position. You see, Thiago is injured. Then Fabinho, I had no idea that Fabinho is not going to be in the lineup. I was actually shocked when I saw the lineup that Fabinho is not there. That Harvey Elliott is not there. Curtis Jones just came back. James Milner got an injury. So, what do you think that with the kind of players that we have in the midfield available, can we go the entire season without signing anyone in that midfield option?
I have a feeling that he has somebody in mind, but he has to wait. I hope that that person's Jude Bellingham. Of it, Ryan Gravenberch from Ajax is another young player. We've been linked with Jared Bowen. We've been linked with Harvey Barnes from Leicester. I think you're right. We're going to have to be a little bit fortunate to get through the season without a serious injury problem in midfield. Which it's really strange because when you count out the midfielders we play three in each game. We've 8 or 9 midfielders, and you think that should be enough, but it's a very competitive, very rough league. I think it will be reassessed coming into the January window. If we still don't know how long we're going to be without Sadio, without Naby, and without Mo for the African Cup of Nations. So I think that they'll wait. They aren't reactionary in their signings. They don't put a sticking plaster on a signing. They make signings based off 3, 4, 5 years worth of research,
Mhm.
and I think we need a midfielder. I think you're right. Genie should have been replaced, but I think Klopp's waiting for that one exceptional player, and I've
Exactly.
got a feeling it's Jude Bellingham. Other people think I'm crazy. Other people think it'll be Ryan Gravenberch, but can you imagine dropping Jude Bellingham into that midfield with Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott 5 years down
Oh
the
my
line?
God, yeah.
It would be
That'll be
perfect.
mind blowing. I wish that it's Jude Bellingham. Exactly. Then, I was just thinking about that Kareem Adeyemi. There's a lot of talk about we are like, approaching him. And I'm so impressed with the guy. What do you think about it? Like, do you really want to see Kareem Adeyemi in our squad? And can he fit there? Can he be like a player at
I
Liverpool?
would have liked us to have signed Patson Daka before Adeyemi. And what Adeyemi has done this season at Salzburg has been tremendous. I mean, he scored, I think, at least in the last 2 Champions League games that I'm aware of. And at 19 years of age, he looks like a tremendous talent. Unfortunately, the information that I have is that he wants to stay in Germany or go back to Germany. Obviously, Salzburg playing in the Austrian Bundesliga, but Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, and numerous other clubs are wanting to get him back to Germany. So I'd love him. I agree with you. I think he's a phenomenal footballer, but I think sometimes I can understand it. Chiesa, as an example, Juventus, Liverpool looked at
Mhm.
him and himself and his father didn't feel it was the right time to move. And I can completely understand that. Same culture, used to the same environment, and a player has a long time in his career to move. So Adeyemi could be a great solution. I just have a bad feeling that he will go to Bayern Munich because I think he played underage football with Bayern Munich at the start of his career. So I think he might end up there. But I do think Jeremy Doku is almost guaranteed to come to Liverpool.
Oh, I would love to have Jeremy Doku. When I saw him in that Belgium match, and I was like so impressed with the guy, the dribbles that he makes, the pace that he has, and I think he would be a perfect replacement or the understudy for Sadio Mane. And I would love to have a player like him in our squad. And the next question to you is that in the yesterday's match, after Mo Salah, who is the player that impressed you the most in Liverpool squad?
Oh, it has to be Naby Keita. Even though he didn't get to see at the game, I thought Naby was exceptional. I thought Jordan Henderson was fantastic. I think he still doesn't get the credit that he deserves. You have a player there who can play in a holding midfield role, who can play in a central midfield role, who can play on the right-hand side of midfield. He must be a dream for Jurgen Klopp. I think he was exceptional, but I think the answer I will probably give is Ibrahima Konate, because Joe Matip has probably been our
Exactly.
best defender this season. He's been phenomenal.
Hmm.
And for Ibrahima Konate to come in at Old Trafford in a huge game and look as good as he did and as accomplished as he did, it's very exciting. It's really exciting to see
Exactly.
him. Who did
Sorry,
you
my
think?
my player was Ibrahima Konate as well. In yesterday's match, I loved Ibrahima Konate, and that's what I had to tell you about. That 92% pass accuracy, then 8 clearances. I think he was phenomenal yesterday. And coming to a match like this at Old Trafford, he knows what the history is between these two clubs, and coming into it and being that confident, I think that's brilliant, and that is what is showing that the kind of signing that we did, Ibrahim Konate, that's one signing, and that is brilliant. I'm just quite impressed with the guy. So that is Ibrahim Konate for me. I think one of the best players that I saw yesterday in Liverpool. But I'm quite excited about him, what he does in the future.
If I was to say to you, there was a centre back on that pitch between Harry Maguire and Ibrahima Konate who cost £80 million, you would think it was Konate. He was such a good player. He looks a phenomenal signing. And again, I think £34 million just shows that our recruitment is phenomenal. Like the size of the guy as well. He's such a big
The guy's
physical
a
guy.
beast. Yeah.
And his
It's
his
just so good.
announcement
Yeah.
video, his announcement video was the best video I've ever seen.
Oh, that was so sweet. I mean, the guy was just so excited to be here. All his friends and all and everything. I think that was just so cute. I loved that. And my next question to you is, what was your reaction when I've seen your reaction on your channel, but after that means how did you take that win, 5-0 win against Manchester United? Is it like, okay, you'll enjoy it for a day or two, but then later on we'll have to focus on another match? Because that is how I went for it, that okay, I'm just so happy today, but let's just focus on another match and let's just go by it. So how is your reaction to it?
I think it's still set. I think it's still setting in. I mean, as you said when we started, this doesn't happen very often. To go to see one of our players score a hat trick at Old Trafford, the first away player to ever score a hat trick at Old Trafford in the Premier League, it's something that I will be telling my kids about, and they will probably be telling their kids about. And it's so strange because, as we said at the start, I have a lot of friends, you have a lot of friends who are Manchester United supporters, and it almost feels like kicking a puppy if you say anything to them, because they know how bad that was. They know. They don't need me or you to tell them. They know. And
Yeah.
I think I almost feel sympathy, almost for a lot of them. But I didn't sleep. I won't lie. I didn't sleep last night. I was just tossing and turning, and that image of Sir Alex Ferguson puffing out his cheeks and Sir Kenny Dalglish smiling,
In
that
the
will live with me forever, forever. So yeah, I'm still it's still sinking in. I have another show tonight with James and with Chris, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they feel about it. But yeah, there's been a lot of messages sent. There's been a lot of memes and gifs sent to people, and a lot of smiling. It wasn't a great day on the cricket front yesterday. I think I should. I don't want to remind you, but I had a lot of people messaging me about that because it was. I think it was such an amazing day for Pakistan. Obviously, it was such a huge win. After not being able to see, I know a little bit about cricket, just a little bit. That they weren't able to tour with England and stuff, or England weren't going over. So I can imagine that it was mixed feelings on that regard yesterday for yourself.
I was wearing India on my chest, and I was like, okay, I'm supporting. I was checking the score line, but then you can't even miss Liverpool versus Manchester United. But I could hear my parents screaming, "Niche, whatever was downstairs, whatever was happening." So we did not take a wicket in that match, and I was like, damn, this cannot happen. I spoke in my video also that I'm wearing my Indian jersey today to support my country, but I'm watching Liverpool versus Manchester United here, so it's going to go both ways. I did not wear my jersey in the match yesterday, but then, yeah, obviously mixed feelings for that India versus Pakistan match, and I just wish that it could be a better performance. That I would have been, the night would have been surreal for me, but that did not happen, unfortunately. But and did you hear Mo Salah said in the interview, in the press conference, he said that the first goal he gave to Naby Keita. He could have gone and scored it himself. I mean, look at that confidence in that man. My God, he's like thrilling, and I'm just so happy that we've got Mo Salah here. in our team, and just can't get enough of him. It's like he's become the talk of town now. But you agree with me, don't you, that he has been performing and showing up for Liverpool every time that we needed a goal? So what do you think about this Ballon d'Or that, and Mo Salah and Ronaldo and Messi and whatever the debate is?
Right now, I think it's fair to say that Mohamed Salah is on form the best player in the world. I think that's not being disrespectful to Leo or to Cristiano, because they are the
Exactly.
greatest players of my generation, certainly. But it's unfair not to give a man the credit he deserves, because Mohamed Salah's numbers since he's arrived at Liverpool, he's broken now 32 records that I'm aware of. He is the highest scoring African in Premier League history, as we spoke about, in a
Mhm.
very short number of games. And he has delivered every single season, whether fighting for the Golden Boot or winning the Golden Boot. And he has been the catalyst alongside Virgil van Dijk and Alisson Becker to lead us to a Premier League trophy and another European Cup and a Club World Cup and a Super Cup and hopefully many, many more. So I hope that the world wakes up and gives the man the respect that he so very much deserves. And I speak about N'Golo Kante as somebody who's very easy to like as an opposition fan. You can look at N'Golo Kante, he plays with a smile on his face and he does things in the right way. Mohamed Salah is a very similar man. You can't but like him as a person. He is so humble. He's an athlete that lives the lifestyle of an athlete. Look at the condition he was in pre-season. You see videos of him doing exercises and swimming. He is a role model for people around the world, for young kids to pick up a football and play. And that's what it's about. It's about legacy. It's about attracting new people to the game. It's about the beautiful game. It's called the beautiful game for players like him that do beautiful things and attract the next generation or attract people who never would have watched football before. This is a very special man, and we're very, very lucky.
Exactly, and we're getting to witness him like that and watching every performance of his as a Liverpool fan. It just feels so damn good that, like, I'm repeating this again, that he plays for us. I can say that proudly that, Mo Salah is my club player. So that's just another good feeling. And I think that is it for my this podcast that I had to do with you. Thank you so much for coming. It's my pleasure to have you on my channel. I've been seeing your videos so many times, and I just can't believe that you are here. So that is why I just had to text you and ask you that if you could come on my channel. It's just so good to talk to you and just share my views and hear your thoughts about it. Thank you so much for being
Oh,
here.
it's my pleasure. Look, I think one of the joys of modern technology is that we all get to share these great moments and this great team with each other. So it's a pleasure, and thank you for inviting me on. And I hope your channel continues to grow, and I hope that we gain more and more followers from around the world, and we can continue to do this. So thank you so much again. Happy to come on anytime and enjoy the rest of the season. It's been great fun chatting with you.
Okay, bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye bye.
Was I looking horrible? Yes, you were. Yes, you were. You could have